The first record of glass being manufactured goes back to 3000 BC. And since that long ago time, the process has always included superheating silica or sand, turning into molten glass. Then they either blew the glass or pulled it and shaped it and tried to turn it into flat sheets that could be used as windows. Well, in the 1950s, a technique was perfected called float glass. And float glass is how almost all windows on this planet are manufactured now, today. Now, Jan Witt is in charge of quality assurance here. Jan, what is float glass?
Float glass is the process of creating a silica batch. And we melt that material and float it over molten tin.
Like a big river of glass that goes over the tin.
Right. So we use about 60% sand. Our cullet is our broken recycled glass.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
That makes up about 25% of our batch.
Okay.
And then the remaining materials create the rest of
So what do you got? The 12 different pieces of the recipe?
12 different ingredients that we mix together.
Great. How do you bring it all together?
Well, let's go see.
All right.
The materials that we just saw, this is how we bring them into the plant. A lot of them come in by rail. Some of them come in on semi.
Oh, yeah.
We store them into the large silo.
Look at that.
So we receive all of those materials and then we store them in our large silo. You can see the silo is split into 12 different pie-shaped compartments.
Oh yeah, sand, limestone, all the ingredients.
Right, and then
They're
we
all
weigh
up
up,
there.
and then we weigh up each of those materials individually on the scales. Once everything's weighed up, it dumps into the mixer. Once everything is thoroughly mixed, we dump everything onto a conveyor and then transport that material across to a bin behind the furnace so we can melt everything.
Heat it up.
Right. So our batch feeds in from the batch house into the furnace here.
Right here?
Our furnace runs about 3,000 degrees. We use about $500,000 of natural gas a month to heat that furnace.
Wow.
The furnace itself holds about 2,000 gallons of melted glass.
Okay.
And what we're feeding in right now, we'll see as glass in about 6 hours.
Okay.
So show us what it looks like melted.
Oh, look at that. So it's already turned to goo. It's already turned molten. So this is all filled with molten glass?
Yes. And when the glass comes to the canal, at this point it flows into the tin bath. In the tin bath, we melt tin. Varies between 2 and 4 inches in depth.
Yeah.
As the glass pours in, it's about 1/4 of an inch thick. It spreads out over that molten tin. And then we're able to start putting those top roll machines out on the very edges and stretch that to the width and thickness that we need.
So you can stretch it like a taffy, pulling it to a sheet.
Right.
Each one of them pulls it a little bit more, pulls it a little more, so it becomes a narrow sheet. Does this leave a mark in the glass?
Yes, it does. And then we cut that off and recycle it.
Good.
Here we come to the end of our tin bath, where you can actually see the glass being pulled right off of the tin.
Oh yeah, I can see it moving along there. The tin end's right there, and then it continues. Wow, it's moving right along too, isn't it?
Right. And then we look at the exit here, and we can see the whole ribbon of glass.
Oh, look at that. And it really is formed beautiful. Look how clear and clean it is. All right, how hot is the glass at this point?
About 625 degrees Celsius.
So still plenty hot.
Right. From here, clear down to that overhead door, we're going to cool that glass down.
This
so
whole
we
thing is
can cut
to
it.
cool the glass.
Right. The glass is now cooled. We're ready to start inspecting it, cutting it. We start by looking at the thickness, and then we'll inspect the glass itself for any defects.
Okay.
Here we have cameras that are looking for any of those defects. You can see the defects on the monitor.
It'll make an impression right here, and it follows it all the way through.
Right.
So this is our glass. Can I touch it?
Yes.
Okay.
So you can see the
So
ripple
it's glass. You
pattern.
can feel it's glass. It's still got a little bit of temperature, and you can see those ridges in there from the top roll.
Right. We'll cut those off and recycle all of that.
It's just so beautiful. My goodness.
The defect system sees the defects within the glass. Once the glass passes through here, we're able to spray paint any pieces of glass with the defects.
Oh, it's a little spray gun. Oh, look at that. It just put a little pink dot on it, so that must have been a bad piece.
Right. Then that glass gets down to the packers. It's a visual sign that it's bad. We recycle it.
Nothing gets out of here unless it's perfect.
Right. The glass has now traveled 450 feet since it came off the tin. It's time to start scoring it.
Okay.
Making the cuts the long direction of that ribbon is fairly simple. Here we're making all of the cuts going across the glass. You can see it's at an angle.
So that's not as easy, is it? Because this is moving. You put this thing at an angle, and it has to come back at the exact same speed as it's moving this way to make a perpendicular cut.
Absolutely.
That is so smart. All right, so here's those marks in the top roller. And just like that, it's gone.
Right, we recycle that as cullet, one of the ingredients we saw when we started.
Nothing gets wasted.
Right. We take the glass off the line both manually and robotically. This is one of our manual packing lines.
Look at this, there's one of our pink dots here.
When that gets to the packers, they'll break off that edge and throw it down the chute so we're able to recycle it.
Oh, look at that. Perfect.
The glass is packed onto the racks. We've packaged everything so that the glass is secure. We won't have breakage. It's ready to ship out of here. Now we're just shrink wrapping it.
Thank you for this fabulous tour. We learned a lot. It was great.
Thank you. Good luck with your Brookline windows.
I will actually think of you when I look through the glass.
Good.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.